From a city in coastal China inundated with floodwater after super typhoon Lakima, and a terrifying flash flood in Catalonia, Spain after almost 10 inches of rain fell in one day, to one of the worst floods in Turkish history that forced thousands of people from their homes, and a town in southern China buried in several feet of water. Here are 10 monster flash floods caught on camera. On August 10th of 2019, Super Typhoon Lakima became the second costliest typhoon to ever strike mainland China. It was the 9th storm of an already active season and forced 250,000 to evacuate Shanghai. Coastal China was inundated with water. That water led to widespread destruction across Zhejiang province. We're talking landslides, flash floods, and collapsing buildings. Those brave enough to stay put made sure to record the entire thing.
Wow! 我辆车子终于驾驶不出来了。啊！哎，塌了！啊，完了！塌了！
哇，可完了！
There's literally water everywhere. Some cars are up to their hoods. The most telling shot is the flatbed truck at the end of the row. Elsewhere, we watch a local landmark, the Juyuehu Pavilion, disappear into the rapids. Entire homes slip from their foundations. The dam system never stood a chance once Lakima made landfall. We watch a tower collapse into the stream, and then a road crumbles like clay, stranding our group on the other side. To make things worse, Lakima arrived about 24 hours after a 6.0 magnitude earthquake struck the region. The weakened earth and non-stop water had every expert from Shanghai to Hong Kong worried about landslides. But some flash floods don't need a powerful typhoon to ravage a local community. Just ask those living on the other side of the world in Fish Springs, Nevada. On July 20th of 2014, the tiny town of about 600 people got hit with 2 inches of rain in 2 hours. Now that's nothing compared to Typhoon Lakima, but it was enough to trigger a devastating flash flood. Thankfully, a local named John Humphrey, it must travel pretty far since the water in front of John never stops flowing. Remember when it looked like a sluggish stick monster moving through the desert? According to Fire Captain Terry Taylor, the flooding caused $3 million in property damages and affected 300 homes. But because most of the damage was to private property, it didn't meet FEMA's $3.7 million threshold to intervene. Locals felt abandoned, but at least they didn't have to flee the streets. Not like these people in San Gabriel, Mexico. On June 2nd of 2019, a deadly flash flood ripped through the small West Mexican community. The water caused significant damage to many roads and over 1,000 homes. It destroyed at least 8 bridges, making it even harder for rescue workers to reach those in need. Many had to fend for themselves, including these locals who watched the flood cover their homes and cars in mud.
Verga! Ayúdale. No mames.
Our cameraman backpedals from the approaching mud. Up the street, we see a white horse and its owner fumbling around in the water. The flood seems to slow down, and our two friends run up the sidewalk. It doesn't seem that bad on the street, but things get much worse when our cameraman turns the corner. We see the Apango River overflowing as mud and debris pour over its banks. There was some speculation over what caused the flood since there wasn't any heavy rain in the area. Some thought a storm up in the surrounding mountains caused the river to overflow. No matter what caused it, the San Gabriel flood was a complete disaster, but it was nothing compared to this Chinese town. Now, back in 2019, Typhoon Lakima made its mark on coastal China, but it still brought massive flash floods to the inland towns and cities. Several people recorded from the safety of their balconies as water covered the streets. Judging by the buildings, it has to be a few feet deep. You would think you're looking at Lake Town from The Hobbit, but there used to be roads under all that water. While it's calm in some places, it's pretty violent in others. A family watches from above as a minivan gets washed away. Elsewhere, water almost covers the first floors of several buildings. According to NBC, Lakima damaged more than 36,000 homes across China, destroyed 900,000 acres of crops, and caused about $2.55 billion in damage across Zhejiang province. The real question is, how the heck do we get rid of all this water? Well, those living in Catalonia, Spain wondered the same thing on September 1st of 2021. The northeastern Spanish state of Catalonia saw 70 millimeters of rain, or about 2.7 inches, fall in under 30 minutes. According to Catalonia's regional weather service, about 9 inches fell over 24 hours. Raging water swept cars, trees, and furniture out into the ocean. A local recorded from their balcony as anything that wasn't bolted down got washed away. Water races into the ocean. It looks like the only thing keeping that red car in place is the palm tree. The flood extends up and down the street in every direction. Well, at least the boats in the harbor are doing okay. Our camera woman calls attention to a pile of white patio furniture drifting toward the sea.
Mira, 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 mira. El coche de Mariano. Uy, Déu meu, una pena. Déu meu, s'han caigut totes les baranes. El cotxe de Mariano i tot. Vale, Richie, campi.
Things keep getting worse and worse. It almost seems like this flood will never end. A few cars balance on the harbor's edge. Their owners are lucky they didn't fall in and sink. It gets hard to tell where the flood ends and the Mediterranean Sea begins, but we guess that's what happens when nearly 10 inches of rain falls in one day.
Ya, adiós. Recorrer por Mireu. S'ha reventat tota la valla.
It looked like the apocalypse had come to northeastern Spain after the water cleared. Cars were mangled and piled where they shouldn't be. Countless homes and businesses were badly damaged. But not all flash floods cause millions of dollars in damages. Some just blend in with Mother Nature. It takes a few seconds, but the river eventually rolls over the rocks and spills into the swimming hole. It doesn't look that bad at first, but it only gets stronger with each passing second. Our swimmers were lucky someone was paying attention. We'll call this flash flood in Hana rare since most aren't as scenic. They're usually terrifying and destructive. Just look at these scenes from Fort Myers, Florida, after Hurricane Ian buried the coastal city in ocean water. Ian pushed inland on September 28th of 2022. Those unable to evacuate or willingly stayed behind recorded the apocalyptic storm. The streets are covered in ocean water. You can see lightning in the sky, and the wind strips the branches off all the palm trees. If you were wondering what the end of the world looks like, this is probably it. Hurricane Ian caused between $50 and $65 billion in insured damages when it smashed into western Florida. The Category 4 hurricane was the second costliest in U.S. history. Katrina still holds the top spot. While it was highly unsafe for these people to stay behind, we still appreciate the footage they were able to capture. Next time, maybe they can use a drone, like the one used to record this flood in Kastamonu, Turkey from August 11th of 2021. The Black Sea region was hammered with severe thunderstorms in early August. All that excess rain culminated in widespread flooding and dangerous landslides. Floodwaters rose 13 feet in some areas. Many called it the worst flood in Turkish history. Emergency workers spent plenty of time rescuing people from rooftops. Meanwhile, drone footage captured the Black Sea floods tearing through an isolated town. Muddy floodwater races through the center of town. Our drone captures it slamming into a nearby bridge, and you can see the damage it's already caused. The guardrails hang off the side, and debris piles up in the middle. A wide shot of the entire town shows the streets inundated with water. According to The Guardian, more than 1,700 people were evacuated across the Black Sea region, which includes the coastal provinces of Bartın, Kastamonu, Sinop, and Samsun. The bridge in this video eventually collapsed, along with several others. Mudslides caused roads to buckle, and nearly 200 villages were still without power 48 hours later. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, then be sure to click the link on screen now. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.